Hello everyone and welcome to the Green Band channel. Hope you're doing good and well. It's time for a Sunday album review. This time I'm tackling the fourth studio album from Myrkur titled Spine. This was released on Friday the 20th of October via Relapse Records, and the album is 9 tracks and 33 minutes in length. So for those of you not familiar with Myrkur, this is a black metal solo project from Amelie Bruun. I say black metal project, her previous album was actually a rendition of Scandinavian folk songs, Folkersanger, which I actually really enjoyed. She's also released 2 albums prior to that, one called M in 2015 and Merelit. Apologies for any butchering of words here or pronunciations. That was back in 2017. And I quite liked both of those albums. I've always felt that Amelie Bruun, she's incredibly talented, and we haven't yet kind of seen maybe quite her full potential, although I did, as I say, really like her Folkersanger album. And yeah, this is her 4th album. So the interesting thing I found with this album upon my first couple of listens, there's a very clear injection of 80s pop into this record, and that was one of the kind of first things I noted and noticed. It even sort of reminds me a bit, the sort of style of the album at times makes me think of the singer-songwriter Enya, but with obviously some more metal and gothic elements in the music. Now, I went into this album not with really any big expectations as such, but I think therefore maybe because of that I enjoyed this more than I had been expecting. I really actually found some of these songs instantly digestible and enjoyable, without feeling sort of any of them too jarring. That's despite the album exploring a few different things. Like I say, it has that 80s pop flavour to it, but it also still has some of the atmospheric black metal elements, some of those kind of ballads in here as well, but it sort of all ties together reasonably well. I think the album actually does manage to still flow pretty well to me, despite obviously some of its more eclectic elements within it. So yeah, I enjoyed this overall, and yeah, let's get into some of the tracks now. So, Like Humans, kind of the first to me notable moment of the album after the introduction, Beltheod, or however you say that word, apologies again. But I really liked Like Humans. It's a very hooky chorus, 80s pop styled, with some black metal elements in it as well, and just that instantly digestible chorus, which you'll probably find yourself singing along to by the second or third listen of the song. Moth-like draws again on that 80s pop influence once more, with just a couple of interesting choices in the song, including this really quite impressive neoclassical-like guitar solo towards the end, which came as a surprise, but not an unpleasant surprise. I actually quite liked how that was incorporated into the song, even if it was a little bit of an odd choice for the song. My Blood is Gold, another highlight on the album for me, with a huge chorus to it and nice piano moments leading into each of the bigger moments of the song for me as well. Spine, I enjoyed the sort of distorted guitar crescendo in that track, and again I really liked that this song gave the album a slightly different flavour before it built into Valkyrianas, which actually was my highlight on this album. And this is the song that actually reminds me more of her earlier works, but this song brought with it a bit of emotion as well. I mean, I've heard that this album has drawn inspiration from Amelie's own experience of becoming a mother and the challenges with that. And I feel like this song is kind of like a catharsis. It's like you can really hear this build-up of emotion, the way that the song goes into that first sort of chorus. I think it is where the vocals are really elevated with this sort of great atmosphere in the song as well. It all comes together and it's absolutely gorgeous. It's a stunning track that, frankly, from this album is probably the most likely to be the song I keep going back to. In fact, I've already revisited the song about a dozen times since the album's released yesterday, or rather on Friday. So, really great stuff in that song. I could listen to that a ton, I'm sure, and I probably will. Another track I quite enjoyed was definitely In the Detail, but with this song I liked the chorus again, but I felt there was something like I didn't quite get the level of feeling or investment in that track as much as I did with the Valkyrianas, or have you say that word again. My pronunciation is probably terrible here. But yeah, I really liked that particular track. And yeah, Devil in the Detail just left me wanting more. In fact, this album did leave me wanting a bit more, which is strange because I thoroughly enjoyed the record. As I say, more than I had necessarily expected to. But I got to the end thinking, oh, I feel like I want more of this now. I feel like, you know, the way that sort of you had, you know, at least a handful of really great moments in this album just left me feeling like, yeah, I could have done with a bit more. The album's quite short, coming in at 33 minutes in length. So I do feel like she could have explored some more, maybe had a couple more songs at least, or just explored a couple of tracks a bit further, like with the Devil in the Details song. I thought there was more that could have been worked on to really make that song work a little better. But, you know, it's not that any of these tracks are particularly weak. There's actually a pretty good consistency. And like I say, I do actually think that it's fairly seamless as an experience of an album, despite some of these diverse elements that are clearly contained within it. Overall, therefore, I think this one just about makes it to an 8 out of 10 for me, which, you know, I genuinely think that because of the impact of this album in the short space of time it had, that and that I've really not found it a chore to listen to this album again and again. It's really been like, I really like it. I feel like the emotions there, as well as the you know, the different sorts of musical flavorings, it still feels like it connects with me in some way, and I feel like there's clearly a lot of heart's gone into this, despite, again, I'm going to say it again, despite the shortish album, a lot of heart is in this album, and that's really sort of, you know, makes you want to connect with it. Yes, it may not be the black metal elitist choice as such, but I really enjoyed this, and I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. So thanks very much for watching. Let me know what you thought of this album. Do you agree? Do you disagree? How do you find this in contrast to Myrkur's earlier works? Do let me know in the comments. Otherwise, don't forget to drop a sub if you're new to the channel. Otherwise, from me, take care everybody, and bye for now.